Hey Joey, Jessica with Peterson SEO here. I spoke with Sandra earlier and she thought you might be interested in this video. So today I'm going to walk over just a few tips you guys can start applying right away, and it's going to help you get even more jobs each and every month. All right, so your customers, when they need a service, generally they don't know your business name and they're not going to search for it. They're going to search for keywords, such as water damage restoration in Portland or duct cleaning in Portland. So for all your services, that's what they're going to do. Now, there's 3 positions in Google that a business can own positioning in. The first is going to be your ads. Those are your Google cost per click and your local service ads. And the second is the Google business profile. Now, I do see that you guys are in the top 3, which for water damage, which is good. You want to make sure that you are in the top 3 for all of your services. If we looked at your duct cleaning, we can see that you are not in that top 3. So it is really important that you are in the top 3 for each of your services, because 30% of people come straight to the maps here and don't go anywhere else. And so when you're not in the top 3, it's sending all of those jobs to your competition. Now, there are several factors that go into ranking in the top 3. One of the most important are citations, and that is simply the name of your business, address, phone number, and website, and listing those in a bunch of directories. Directories are listings like Yelp, Yellow Pages, and Glassdoor. So you guys do need more than what your competitor is doing for that. You want to make sure that you're continually updating this every single month, and that you're adding new photos, updates, etc. Now, I noticed that you guys don't have any categories selected. This could be hurting you as well for coming up for some of your services. You can see these guys at least have water damage selected. You guys don't have any. So there's multiple categories that you could be choosing to help Google understand what it is that you guys do. And then the third section, the most important section, this is the Google organic section. This is where you guys want to show up for each of your services, because nearly 60 to 70% of people come straight here. And so to get here, that has to do with your website optimization. So if we go back to your website, you guys do have a decent website. Your website is secured. You do have a click to call way up at top. I would have some down here too that's easier to read and see. Google has done a ton of changes and algorithm changes, and a lot of things that used to work 2 years ago and even last year we cannot do anymore. Google needs better usability, better better navigation, easier for customers to find things. So at first, when I looked at your website, I was confused when I looked at the type of traffic you guys are getting versus your website. This navigation is not done very well. It's just generic. So I thought you guys didn't have those pages, but I had to actually hunt through your website to actually find your pages for each of your services. So I am glad that you have them. You do have to have a separate page for each service. That allows you to go after the local keywords for each service. But also understand that those local keywords have multiple variations, and it looks like throughout your entire website, you guys are only targeting like 1 to 2 keywords, and so you're missing out on a ton of potential, guys. Um, and then just this navigation doesn't work. So with the latest Google algorithm, You need to make this as super easy as possible. So definitely fix your navigation. And then, as always, content is king. And I don't know, have you guys experienced like your website traffic and leads just coming down drastically over the 18 months? If so, it may be because of those changes and what Google needs from your website. Their crawlers need this information to index you, put you in front of the right people, but they don't just want generic information. They want information that resonates with your customers. So not only do we need this to be based around exact match keywords, and the keywords need to be repeated at least 3 times, but the information needs to resonate. It needs to answer their questions. It needs to be conversational instead of just generic in your face information trying to use keywords. So you do have a good amount of written content, which is good. Let's see, how are your images? Okay, you did a good job on the image. So that's good. So your images are being optimized. You do have a good amount of content. Obviously, you have SEO going on. Readability is a big factor. And the colors, we can't read that. So that's just some of the newer changes with Google. Even though Google doesn't rank based on how something looks, it does score. It does score things, and it if your customers can't read it and if they're bouncing and all that stuff, it's going to cause issues. So you do have a good amount of content, which is good. You need 1,500 words or more. So that you can't read this. You need 1,500 words or more on your homepage to focus around all of those keywords. You are servicing multiple areas. I know I saw that somewhere over here. Okay, so you are serving multiple areas. And when you go to those pages, it is it's a combination of everything. So we did used to be able to do that. Okay, we once upon a time we could treat these just like a home page. We can't do that anymore. Each of these locations need their own separate page. Google does not want mixed services on a page, which is why everything needs to have its own page, its own content, not all of this duplication that's on everything else. It's got a good amount of content. It's just not actually focusing on your local keywords, or going after those multiple variations. Like I said, most of the keywords you are indexing and ranking for are just like water damage Portland, water damage next city, but there's multiple variations of those. Water damage, water restoration, mitigation, and also for all your other services. Okay, so you just need to make sure that you're using the proper keywords in here so that you can actually target them all and capitalize on that, on all the ones that you're missing out on. If we go to your top competitor for water damage, it is ServPro, and they are a franchise, but they are beatable. Franchisees are not able to modify this website and go after a keyword strategy, so you have the upper hand. Plus, they're only able to serve certain zip codes, so they can't even serve the area that you serve. They can only serve just a small portion of that area. And so you guys are at the advantage and can definitely do better. So you got to do better than they're doing, better content, more focus on a real keyword strategy. If we look at your ratings, you're doing pretty good. You guys have a 23 out of 100 in Google's Trust Flow, which is pretty good. And that is somewhat based on the content on your website, but more so the power you're sending to it. It is important to note that not all backlinks are good backlinks. You want only the links that are related to your services that you offer. And you get credit for one backlink per referring domain. So all the rest is like spam and is diluting your credibility and diluting your score in Google. Now, a referring domain is any website that provides your website with a link from their site to your site, and the backlink is just that physical link coming from another site. It's like if you've ever been on a web page and you saw a blue hyperlink, you clicked it and it took you somewhere else, those are backlinks. And if you think of this power and how important it is to your website, it's like trying to use your favorite power tool. Power tool doesn't work without power. You're going to plug it into a power source, which is like a referring domain, and that power is going to go through that cord up into your tool so that it can work. And so that's the same concept for your website. So, you guys do have a lot of content, and you have been indexed for over 300 keywords, but you're only getting about 118 people on average to your website, and you're serving a huge area. So you're missing out on tons and tons of potential traffic. And when I look at your metrics here, we can see that your traffic has dropped quite a bit since at least November of 2024. And so I would say that definitely has to do with all these huge core Google updates. Looking at your keywords, you do have branded ones. You have some good keywords that you are ranking on the first page of Google for. But like I said, most of your keywords are just one type: water mitigation, Beaverton, water damage restoration, Salem, water mitigation, Portland. But there's also the opposite variation: Salem water damage, water damage restoration, Portland water mitigation. So there's the opposites, right? All the other keywords that you should be capitalizing in to really get that traffic. So you guys are doing good for several keywords, but you guys would do a lot better by optimizing your content, going after a real keyword strategy, and making sure each of those service areas has their own pages so that you're being indexed for more keywords and ranking for each of the variations. Especially when we look at your competition. So we were looking at 118 traffic with that vast area that you serve, and ServPro is getting 290, and they only can service certain zip codes. So this is certain zip codes just within Portland proper, okay? Not all the other areas. So it just shows you how much potential traffic you're losing. And so it's going to be really, really important to work on the strategies that we talked about today. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. I'd be happy to chat. Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to hearing from you soon.